Welcome back to the English podcast on YouTube. I'm so happy you're here. Today, we are looking at a very serious and important topic. What is Israel's real goal in the war with Iran?
Exactly. It is a very complicated situation, and many people are asking this question right now.
We are joined from Jerusalem by our correspondent. So let's start with the big question. What do you think is Israel's end goal? What do they want to happen at the end of this war?
Well, if we listen to what the Israeli leaders are saying, they want regime change. This means they want a new government in Iran. They want a government that is not Islamic. They are hoping that the Iranian people will start protests again, like the ones we saw at the beginning of the year.
You mean the protests that were stopped by the authorities?
Yes, exactly. Israel wants those people to rise up again. But I have also talked to other experts. Some Israeli analysts say that Israel might be happy if Iran just becomes a failed state.
A failed state? Can you explain what that means for our listeners?
Of course. A failed state is a country where the government has no power and the systems like schools, police, and banks don't work anymore. Some people think Israel doesn't care about having a stable new government in Iran. One expert told me that Prime Minister Netanyahu would be happy if Iran became like Iraq, Libya, or Somalia.
Like Somalia? That sounds very chaotic.
It is. If Iran is not functioning, it is no longer a threat to Israel. It would also take a lot of energy from the Arab countries nearby to deal with the trouble. This would suit Israel very well. Now, the Israeli government doesn't say this in public. Their official line, their public message, is that they just want a new, safe government. But there is no sign that this will happen soon.
That is a huge point to unpack. Now, tell me, is Israel on the same page as the United States? Do they agree on everything?
Broadly, yes. They have tried very hard during this short war to appear in lockstep. That means they want to look like they are walking and thinking exactly the same way. Prime Minister Netanyahu has said for almost 40 years that Iran is an existential threat, a danger that could destroy Israel. He always says Iran is just a few months or years away from having a nuclear weapon. This time, he is using a lot of force, and he has the full support of the U.S.
But do Donald Trump and Netanyahu really want the same result?
Well, it seems Donald Trump wants a short war that doesn't cost much money, but Netanyahu wants to destroy the Iranian regime. This is his long-held dream, something he has wanted for a very long time.
But can they really remove a government just with airplanes?
That's the problem. You cannot do that with airstrikes alone. You would need boots on the ground, which means sending many soldiers into the country. I don't think we will see that. So they are just hoping the Iranian people will topple the government themselves. Both leaders said this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity for Iranians. But as I said, there is no sign of that happening right now. Some experts even say the war has made the Iranian people support their current government more.
And Trump is also thinking about things at home, right?
Exactly. Donald Trump is looking at the financial markets and the midterm elections in November. He promised to get America out of wars, but now he is in a massive one in the Middle East. So he is suggesting the war could end any day now. Even if the Israelis don't like that, they will probably agree because they want to stay close to the Americans. They will say, we have destroyed Iran's missiles and slowed down their nuclear program.
What about Lebanon? If the war in Iran ends, does the war in Lebanon stop too?
That is a different story. Some Israeli ministers said today that the military should push further north and occupy southern Lebanon. That would need a lot of troops. We saw tanks waiting on the border, but they haven't gone in with full force yet. I'm not sure if the Israeli public really wants a big ground war there. But for now, Israel says they are ready to push in. Even if the U.S. stops in Iran, Israel might be prepared to go it alone, to fight by themselves against Hezbollah in Lebanon.
And how does this affect Netanyahu's popularity?
It's interesting. For Netanyahu, a longer war might actually help his chances of being reelected. Right now, he is not very popular because of the security failures on October 7th. Israel is a very divided country. Many people are unhappy about the war in Gaza, the economy, and the hostages.
But they still support the war with Iran?
Yes! A respected poll said 74% of Jewish Israelis strongly support the operation in Iran. They agree that Iran is a big threat. So, in the short term, this war gives Netanyahu a boost. It makes him more popular. We will have elections soon, maybe in June or by the autumn. Usually, wars help a leader stay in power for a little longer.
Wow, so much is happening. Thank you so much for explaining this to us.
You're very welcome. It's a fast-moving situation.
That was our report for today on the English podcast. If you liked this episode, please subscribe to us here on YouTube. If there are any other stories you want us to cover, leave a comment below. We love hearing from you. And for more international news, you can always download our full English podcast, Global News. See you next time.